Okay, welcome back, everybody. Just before we kick off, can I ask everybody to take the seats, please? We're just about live streaming now. I think you'll find the room is better air conditioned at the moment. If I could say to people at the back, if you can refrain from opening the windows because it just negates the air conditioning system. If we can keep the doors closed, I think it'll keep the room a lot cooler. So welcome back, everybody. This session now is focused on the whole area of targeted harm reduction. If I can get your attention, please, folks, we've kicked off live. This is around targeted harm reduction. Again, we have a number of speakers and panellists, which I will introduce individually as we bring them to the podium. So first of all, can I go straight in and ask Tony Duffin to join us. He's CEO of Liffey, which is a well-known initiative to support people with particular complex needs in services. So Tony, you're very welcome and thanks for coming along.
Thanks very much, Paul, and thank you for the invitation. Firstly, may I wish everybody happy Pride. I was on my way over earlier, seeing everyone getting ready, and it was a wonderful thing. So I'm here today to talk to you about low threshold services for people with complex needs. I have 7 minutes and it's ticking down. So when I talk about complex needs, I'm talking about people who may be street homeless, who may have mental health issues, who obviously addiction issues. Liffey was established in 1982 by Father Frank Brady and he and his colleagues. And we've been working with people who have experienced problematic drug use. Obviously, there's issues around non-problematic drug use, which I'm sure you guys are all debating and discussing, but this is about problematic drug use and working with people who find themselves in very difficult situations. One thing I would say from the outset is there are no hard-to-reach people, there are only hard-to-reach services. And you really need to think about that in your deliberations and such, because actually what I'm going to describe to you is a low threshold services, and we probably wouldn't be needed if other more mainstream services were actually working with clients more effectively. I've mentioned around when we were started, we have about 80 staff, sorry, I should have said about 80 staff, and we work in the midwest of Ireland, around Limerick, based out of Limerick and in Dublin. It's a fantastic team of people who do some amazing work in terms of engaging with people and helping people through to their I suppose, personal goals. So what is low threshold? Well, by low threshold, we mean that the barriers to availing of our services are kept as low as possible. So we want to make sure that we can get to engage with people, and when we are working with people, obviously we want to stay engaged with them and work with them around the issues that they have. And I'll talk to you about the service provision that we do. But low threshold services is essentially a way of working. It's an ethos. It's not exclusive to Liffey. There are other low threshold services in Ireland, and it is a model that is replicated across the world. I should say that the little graphic there, I'm not sure you can read it, but I'm sure you'll see the slides after, but is courtesy of our colleagues in DePaul, Ireland. They put something together, and basically what's happening there is the worker is saying, look, these are the rules, right? And you've got to stick to the rules, and the client is sort of explaining that, they have these issues, and, if they could stick to the rules, they would, but they can't. So in the next slide, what you have is the team member. Is that moved? Oh. I haven't moved on. Sorry. Hang on. With the next team, use the arrow. Sorry. Oh, it's that. There we go. Sorry. The team member looking to adapt the service and to keep them engaged. And what I'm saying here is that by providing inclusive services with a minimum of rules, low threshold services are able to maintain relationships, to build trust with people who use drugs and who have complex needs, as I've mentioned before. And then they can proactively promote healthier choices. So healthier choices include safer drug use for people who are active in their drug use, other health issues, other social issues, things like housing. Unfortunately, we have a burgeoning homelessness problem in Ireland, and many of the people we work with are homeless. About 80% of people that we work with are homeless, maybe more. types of low threshold services that include, they can be accommodation providers, they can be drop-in services, they can be street outreach, and they can be in other settings. But it's essentially sort of working with people in a non-judgmental way. We talk about neither promoting nor denouncing drug use. It simply is what it is, and people come to us and we work with them looking for ways to help them. It's as simple as that, but it's complex as well, as you can imagine. So just wary of time, so I'm going to keep moving forwards. The kind of low threshold services that Anna Liffey delivers. We did have a drop-in centre before, which people came directly to before COVID, but COVID changed things. We had to close down a drop-in centre and because of COVID, and we've readjusted and adapted our work, and we deliver most of our work now. We do have fixed site services, but we do a lot of work on outreach and on in-reach to services. I'll go down through a few here now. So, as I said, we're in Dublin and we're in the Midwest. We have an outreach service on the streets, so we do backpacking and needle exchange. For example, we do that going out to the streets. We go into people's homes and into parks and into squats, and we go where people are and we find them and we help them. The Van Liffey outreach mobile unit, we fondly call the Van Liffey, is out the back, and I'll have it opened up at 5:30, and you can come and have a look at it if you like. And I can show you, it's there, just the pictures there, a couple of team members proudly showing it off there. So that moves in and out of an area. We can do needle exchange out the back of that. We can do Hep C advice and testing, and we can link people into treatment. We do a number of things, but I'll explain all that when I'm down there. And that can roll in and out of an area, and we can respond to communities as needed, but also when communities don't want us there, we can move out and move away. So that's really helpful. One of the big pieces of work we do is case management. So we work on 12 areas of the people's lives, and we work with them to identify goals that will include things like recovery from drug use or stabilisation. It can be getting housed. It can be all the things, anything that is acting as a barrier to their progression and ultimately to having a healthier life. We call it key work and brief interventions. What that means is sometimes people aren't ready to start addressing everything, and we're not pushing people down paths. We're trying to engage with them, we're trying to help them, so we do brief interventions and a certain amount of key working with people.
1 minute, Tony.
Sorry.
Okay.
You can see the rest there. The one I would flag to you is Law Engagement and Assisted Recovery, the LAIR programme. We take referrals from Gardaí. They make referrals to us for people that they've identified as having issues, and that works really well. That's for non-problematic drug use. I know you've been talking about the health diversion programme and referrals to health. So the Guards are making those referrals. The bigger piece in that programme is the case management piece. The Guards working directly with us on the particular cases, shared confidentiality. So I'm wary of the time, so I'm just going to say thanks for your time. I appreciate all the thought that you were putting into it. I've been working on it for 30 years. There's a lot of problems and there's a lot of information. So best of luck with it, and genuinely thanks for your time. Thank you.